Previously, as Shirone delivered coffee to Amy. Upon realizing the situation, Amy became annoyed and pushed the coffee away. She then acted like a girl who was being confessed to and completely rejected Shirone in front of the crowd. Afterwards, Amy left and Serial asked her if she was not worried about rumors. While the audience believed that Shirone was heartbroken, he was actually celebrating. On that night, Amy was feeling depressed because she had started a rumor on her own. She had been using the Karmas family's red eye to save all the images of Shirone delivering coffee. Initially, it had been amusing for her, but after 9 days, Shirone had not flinched even once, and his irises had not moved at all. This made Amy wonder how Shirone could conceal his inner emotions. Shirone could either be someone who could control his feelings like a machine or someone who was sincere. Amy tried to retire for the night, but Serial asked if she was feeling unwell because she had not received Shirone's coffee. After her plan had failed, she decided to go rest. Just then, Jake Adrius approached her and accused her of hanging out with the poor kid. He offered her a cup of high-quality coffee and declared that he was interested in courting her. According to him, he was much better than someone like Shirone who was poor. Amy felt disgusted by his remarks and told him to stop joking around. Amy is aware that Jake's research group is attempting to bring her down. When she confronts Jake about this, he denies it and tells her to stop disrespecting him because it reflects poorly on his household. Amy responds by calling him pathetic and goes on to say that his research group only bullies other children and lacks any sense of nobility. This further infuriates Jake, who claims that his household holds enough power to eliminate another household like the Karmas. However, Amy laughs at Jake's assertion, as she notices that he has the eyes of a coward, unlike Shirone's. Jake becomes offended at being compared to Shirone, and suggests that he should have dealt with Shirone first. This comment makes Amy flinch, and she reacts by destroying the cup of coffee. As a result, Jake becomes angry and finds himself in Amy's spirit zone. In an ominous tone, Amy questions Jake about his intentions. In response, Jake reminds her about the school policy, but Amy simply laughs and calls him a coward who relies on his household. Jake realizes that he's in a tight spot and has no choice but to flee. Meanwhile, Amy regrets getting agitated over Shirone's slander and just wishes to clear her head. Days later, Shirone is glad that Amy's bullying is over. Just then, he sees Serial panicking. Shirone approaches her and Serial freaks out. She asks why he is here and asks for Amy. She shoved a letter in Shirone's face that says some students got Shirone captive. 30 minutes ago, a male student tried to hand over a letter to Amy but got ignored. The student then mentions that her man will be in danger. Amy snatches the letter and reads it. Amy claims she doesn't care. Serial worries and suggests telling a professor. However, Amy worries that the council will thoroughly investigate the case and find out about their relationship and Shirone's commoner status. She recalls seeing the young Shirone crawl on the ground and imagining it during the present time. Amy flinches and hands over her bag to Serial. She claims Jake's group has nothing against her and leaves. Shirone can't believe a wicked person like her will save him. Shirone panics too, but Serial tells her to wait as Amy told her. Shirone knows why Amy doesn't want the professors to get involved. He then tells Serial that he will follow her. Shirone plans to run, but Serial grabs him. Serial tells him that they will photonize, and they suddenly teleport toward the forest. They then fly down to the forest, but no one is there. Shirone thinks they brought Amy somewhere more secluded. Shirone then tells Serial to go inform the professors. He tells her that he is the reason for this incident. Serial freaks out and asks if the rumors of them secretly dating are true. Shirone tells her to leave now. Shirone sighs and expands his spirit zone. He finds some traces and hears an explosion. The explosion was caused by a student threatening Amy. Just then, more students come and Jake appears. Jake can't believe Amy came for Shirone. Amy asks for Shirone's whereabouts and everyone laughs and tells her that Shirone is probably in the library. They only call her out to pay back at her as revenge. Amy is glad that Shirone is not there. She smiles as she claims that she will get rid of them. Jake suddenly felt scared. Amy suddenly fires off an attack behind her, burning some of them. Jake tells them to scatter because cross formation is weak in a battle. However, some of them were shot down. Amy asks them where they are going. She locks onto everyone and fires attacks in all directions. Amy can quickly switch her formation. Jake can't believe that it was different from what he witnessed in class. He goes up above Amy because that is the blind spot of the cross formation. He fires off a magic attack, but Amy easily dodges it. Jake gets shocked and Amy laughs at him. She attacks him and Jake gets shot down. He lands with a barrier, but Amy still keeps firing magic at him. Amy calls him pathetic. Just then, Amy's magic suddenly got interrupted and she experienced headaches as she got surrounded. Jake claims that this is a checkmate. His group is using anti-magic to suppress Amy. Amy calls him a coward for using forbidden magic. Jake then binds Amy with wind magic. Amy tries to get out, but she can't. Jake then takes out a knife to mark Amy's face. Jake excitedly asks her to beg for her life. Amy then realizes that this is what Shirone felt when they were kids. Just then, someone shouts at them to stop. Amy looks to the side and sees Shirone. Everyone is surprised to see Shirone. Jake's group laughs to see Amy's prince alone. Shirone plans to buy some time and tells them to let Amy go. He charges forward, but he sees them doing nothing. Just then, Shirone feels the effect of anti-magic. He screams in pain and falls to the ground. Everyone laughs at him, and Amy tells her to get rid of his spirit zone. Shirone can feel his senses going away and his mind shattering. He recalls the discussion about the defense form that can negate mental attacks. Shirone tries to endure the anti-magic, and Jake's group increases their output. Amy tells her to give up, but just then, they see Shirone's defensive form negating the anti-magic. Shirone continues to make more frames on his defense form, and Jake's group gets flustered. Shirone gets up and moves toward them. The anti-magic starts reflecting back to the group. They also get affected by the anti-magic's effect. Amy finally gets out of the wind bind and can't believe the cold and solid spirit zone could exist. Jake can't believe what just happened when they have more people on their side. He then accuses Shirone of specializing in anti-magic, which is why he got a special recommendation. Jake claims he won't lose in a battle and locks onto Shirone. He casts his wind magic, but just then he gets punched by Amy. Amy continues beating up Jake, and Shirone tries to calm her down. Poor Jake is mercilessly beaten up, and Shirone pulls up Amy. Both of them fall, and Shirone finds Amy unconscious on top of him. Shirone is flustered to see Amy losing consciousness while she's on top of him. Shirone then thanked Amy for coming for him. Amy flinches and immediately gets up while hitting Shirone at the same time. Amy then calls Shirone weak, and Shirone concludes that she really doesn't have positive traits. She then helps Shirone get up so they can get away without the professors knowing about this matter. Shirone tells her that he asked Cyril to tell the professors. Amy's head aches, and she asks Shirone about their secret being revealed. Jake overhears it. Just when they plan to run, someone arrives. Professor Thad and Professor Sienna arrive along with Cyril, who immediately checks on Amy. Thad lights up the area and finds the unconscious students. He asks Amy why an excellent child like her is in this situation. Sienna gets weirded out and asks Shirone instead. Just then, Jake appears and offers to explain everything. He claims that they had a duel. However, Sienna already saw a piece of evidence. She also saw them use anti-magic, and Jake claims that it was just their countermeasure. He claims that Amy attacked them first, and they asked for a duel. Amy calls him crazy for kidnapping Shirone. However, nothing really happened to Shirone. Jake also claims that the two are hiding something because they didn't tell the professors in the first place. He blames Amy and Shirone as the culprits. Jake then threatens them to reveal their secret. Jake plans to use their secrets and his money against them. Sienna tells Jake to shut up and reinstate that they broke the school policy. Anti-magic can shatter one's mind and lose their mind. Sienna claims that this is enough reason for expulsion. Jake laughs at the idea that a mere professor has threatened him. Thad reminds Sienna that Jake's family sponsors the school. However, Sienna is resolute in her role as an instructor. Jake laughs and threatens Sienna in her position as a teacher. Sienna then attacks Jake with ice magic, and Thad reminds her not to kill a student. Jake gets imprisoned in ice and ice spikes. Shirone is amazed by Sienna's control over her magic. Sienna tells Jake that money can't solve everything and dispels her magic. She informs him that the school already knows that he's hurt a lot of students, and the school won't hold back this time to punish him. She claims that the teachers teach the students something that can't be bought with money. Sienna then reminds Jake of his dreams of becoming a mage. Jake recalls his and his friends' dreams. Sienna tells him not to kick their dreams aside. Jake realizes everything he did and apologizes to Sienna. Shirone also remembers the thing that is important to him. Amy and Shirone are later interrogated as to why they didn't immediately inform the teachers. Amy then claims to speak the truth. Shirone knows that they can't keep everything a secret forever. Amy then confesses that Shirone is her boyfriend. Everyone in the room gets surprised. Days later, Cyril shares the story with the other students in a far-fetched way. As she continues to spread the story, Amy comes and finds out that her best friend is the one spreading the rumors. The students have mixed reactions to Amy and Shirone's dating rumors. Amy gets mad at Cyril, but the latter is excited about this development. Cyril claims this is better to keep other boys away, and Amy agrees. Days ago, Thad exclaimed that Amy doesn't have an interest in dating. However, Amy claims that she met Shirone when they were young. She then sweetly asks Shirone for a follow-up. Shirone worries, but Amy kicks her. Shirone then awkwardly confirms it. Amy finds this situation better than having their pasts exposed. Cyril then reminds Amy that they will have an integrated class soon with Shirone's. She asks her if they will have a date after class, and Amy denies it. Amy is busy, and she is glad that Shirone is normally leading a normal school life. However, she realizes that this is not okay for her. During their integrated class, Cyril calls out to Shirone and tries to tease the fake lovers. Amy is offended that Shirone looks like he doesn't want to be lovers with her. Amy then starts talking sweetly to Shirone, and Cyril is shocked. However, Shirone tries to draw the line between a senior and a junior. Amy gets silent and turns around. Shirone goes to his seat and hears slanders around him, especially one about his inability to use magic. Shirone clenches his fist. The rumors that spread like wildfire become bad after everyone finds out that Shirone is a last placer in class. Some students claim Shirone has backing from his household and is trying to fish for a girl with a background. Everyone agrees and starts slandering the academy and Shirone. Shirone arrives in the classroom and notices how everyone acts. He doesn't want Amy to be affected, which is why he's trying to keep his distance. During practical class, Shirone can hear the thoughts of his classmates trying to stay away from him. Athela approaches him and asks about his progress. Shirone claims he is having a hard time with the deviate form and Athela gives him advice. Shirone claims he doesn't have problems with his 4 forms. Athela then tells him to practice it on the image zone. Shirone looks at the other students. Athela wonders why Shirone is getting cautious around the other students. Shirone then agrees to do it and asks for Athela's feedback. His classmates talk badly about Shirone as he steps into the image zone. However, Amy's class is excited about seeing Shirone's progress. Shirone starts with a defensive form and Class 4 is impressed by it while making his classmates silent. Shirone quickly switches to other forms and Athela is impressed by his speed. Last is the deviate form, but Shirone has never been successful before. Class 5 sees him doing the deviant form and claims that Shirone must be on their level first. As Shirone works on it, he gets lightheaded. Just then, his own classmates start laughing and talking badly about him. Class 4 can see that his spirit zone is fluctuating. Shirone wonders why humans enjoy other people's failures. He recalls the depressing episodes he experienced. Just then, he hears his own voice reminding him that he is in school to become a mage. Shirone pulls himself together and strengthens his spirit zone again. Everyone is impressed except Shirone's classmates. Shirone then forces himself to complete the last form. Meanwhile, Sienna writes a report about the recent incident. She can't believe a student won against other students who were using anti-magic. She later learns from Athela that Shirone was successful in doing the deviant form. She is impressed and claims she was not wrong about Shirone's talent. Days later, Sienna ends her lecture with Class 7 and calls Shirone. She informs him that he will advance to Class 5. His classmates wonder what kind of household is backing Shirone. Shirone's classmates started complaining about how Shirone skipped 2 classes when he doesn't know magic commands. Sienna asks if it is true. Shirone sweats as his classmates look at him ominously. He confirms that he can't perform magic, but Sienna still believes that it is fine. Another student claims that this is discrimination and claims that the spirit zone is not everything. They continue pouring out complaints and Sienna claims to talk about this in a meeting first. Sienna feels that there is something more to the class objections. Just then, a student named Maria approaches her to explain some things. Maria then starts speaking out about her classmates' bullying acts towards Shirone. Sienna thanks the crying Maria for the information. That night, Shirone is out late in the library studying. He leaves the library as he recalls Timurin's advice to endure everything until it comes to an end. Shirone wants to overcome everything for the sake of the people who believe in him. He swears to be a mage. After taking a bath, Shirone hears someone knocking on his door. He thinks it is one of his classmates, but it turns out to be Sienna. She comes into Shirone's room to talk about something. He now realizes why Shirone got strangely aligned scores. It is because he is trying to remember everything at once and studies for the present, not the future. She wonders why he didn't learn everything when he was younger. Shirone acts shy and Sienna is surprised by Shirone's change in character outside class. Sienna then starts asking about the bullying, but Shirone claims that he is fine. She asks if he despises his classmates. Shirone confirms it and claims that he is human too. However, even if the whole class thinks wrong of him, he knows there are other people out there who understand him. Sienna nods in agreement. The faculty meeting comes and Sienna presents her documents to the other professors. They can't believe that a whole class is bullying one student. The teacher suggests advancing Shirone quickly, and Sienna is relieved to hear that. However, Thad disagrees and Alphys asks for his reason. Thad points out Shirone's inability to use magic and agrees with the other students' complaints. He also finds Sienna's favor over Shirone an issue. He claims that favoring one genius will deprive the other students' will to study. Sienna exclaims that they shouldn't stand in the way of a genius development. The two continue arguing and the others are already tired of their bickering every day. Alphys stops them and agrees that both sides have a point. Alphys agrees with not favoring one student and suggests something instead. The next day, students flock over to the announcement board. An early advancement exam is announced for the whole class, and they can skip 2 classes. However, they need to perform teleportation. Class 7 students panic over it and conclude that they won't pass the test. Just then, Shirone appeared as the students moved aside and also saw the announcement. Please read the pinned comment about the next part.